Hello, hello, we're live. Let me know you can hear me okay. Everything is good and well. Flying solo tonight. For now, we may have a surprise guest joining us in a few moments' time, but welcome to Hypno News, where we're talking about everything that's going on in the world of hypnosis. Maybe not everything, but a lot of stuff that's going on in the world of hypnosis right now. And yeah, it's we're getting into conference season in a couple of weeks' time. It's the Irish Hypnosis Conference. We have then got Heartland. We have then got Hypno Thoughts. We have then got Pacific Northwest, then Hypno Thoughts, and then the Michigan Hypnosis Conference. And I'm sure there's some other ones scattered around there as well. So let me just go on here. I just want to make sure that our audio and everything is good. Yeah, that seems okay. Let me just check on here. And if you are watching, let me know you can hear me okay as well. I think that is good. Let's see this. I'm trying a couple of different things tonight as well. So it's always interesting when you try new things. There we go. So we'll keep plodding along. So let me know where you are watching from. There we go. Yeah, so that's all good. So we're on YouTube, on Facebook, and everywhere else we can be, which is good. So it's interesting, especially at hypnosis conferences. They're great speaker opportunities, and I encourage everybody to put yourself forward, put in a speaker proposal for this, whatever genre of hypnosis that you are doing, whatever style. It's a great way to share your knowledge. Share your skills. What have you learned on that path? And share that with other people. It's a great way of kind of reducing the costs of what it is to attend all of these conferences, and it's a great way of marketing your hypnosis business, and it's a great way of meeting new people. I have made some fantastic connections over the years, people around the world and people just around the corner. Steve Woods, a great golf hypnotist. I met him at Michigan a couple of years ago. It could have been, and that's a really good help. And again, it's a great way of meeting people and making connections. Speaking of meeting people and making connections, look who we've got here. Better late than never, I suppose. There he is.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. I just got a phone call from one of those real estate investors calling about my father's property in California, and I was like, "No, I are not him. He's been dead for a little over a year, and technically he doesn't own the property." So, but yeah, never a dull moment here.
Exactly. And how is the weather where you are now?
Oh, Grant, you would kick yourself for not being here. It is 60 degrees standard Fahrenheit. Hardly a cloud in the sky.
Nice.
And then the sun goes down over the trees and it gets really cold fast.
Yes. Yes.
But we've had some just wicked rain, windstorms, thunder and lightning earlier this week. And yesterday was kind of cleared up, and it looks like we're going to have some relatively decent weather, starting to warm up for the next week or so.
Nice.
So get some seat time on the motorcycle.
Yeah, it was interesting. I don't know if people know, but those that, if they've seen it, posted the Seattle is about an hour away from Seattle meme, which I thought was really good, actually. And for those that don't know, when I stayed up there, I thought I stayed close by, but it turns out it was about an hour's drive away from Seattle.
The joke is when there's traffic.
Yes,
you were your hotel in 2 or 3 blocks from the Space Needle. You're in downtown Seattle proper. I'm about roughly 20 miles north, so it was about a 35 minute drive if you're just kind of cruising into town. But yeah, you can easily turn a commute from my house into downtown Seattle into an hour and 90 minutes.
Easily.
So there sometimes you can be in downtown Seattle and rush hour trying to leave Seattle.
Yeah,
it takes you an hour just to get out of town.
Cool.
But,
But what a beautiful place! Like, you know, there's some amazing scenery, nightlife, and everything around there. And it's one of the joys. Again, you know, if you're a Dan Goyette from Hypno Cafe has the traveling hypnotist. I think he's just about to launch it as a YouTube channel. To be fair, and it's great because it takes into account that whole. You know, and for years I did this. You're on the road, you're touring, you go to places, but you don't actually visit them. And so you've got to take that extra time out, maybe a day at the end of the conference where it's just your day where you can go out, see the sights, meet the people, experience the culture. So, yeah.
Well, I've got a friend of mine. We'll kind of give him a shameless plug. He's in a band called the Lowdown Drifters, kind of a country music, country rock type thing. And he says, you know, fellow Mason as well. But I was asking him about touring, and he goes, dude, I get on an airplane, or we're on the road, we're driving somewhere, we'll play a show, we'll go to bed at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and then we've got to get to the next area that we're going to. And you don't really get a whole lot of time to enjoy stuff. You know, you're not Taylor Swift going, oh, I'm just going to fly in and, you know, I've got 3 sets of, you know, roadies that kind of leapfrog from city to city. And you know, they don't really have to do a whole lot of press to.
Yeah. That's the myth with like a touring professional, especially in entertainment. On Instagram, it looks incredibly glamorous. Glamorous. Wow.
Yeah.
It's
we haven't been drinking,
glamorous. But the reality is, you know, it's, you know, you've not got the roadies. You are lugging the stuff in yourself. You are doing the graft work as well. So, yeah.
But I mean, if you set everything up as far as your schedule is concerned, you do want to make a road trip out of it, because, you know, on like a hypnotist side, if you needed to pack sound, you know, like you've got an SUV or a van or something like that, you're not bringing a whole lot of equipment with you. You know, throw a suitcase or 2 and you can go from point A to point B, but you can stop at places along the way. And if you conservatively plan your route and give yourself enough time to kind of have what I would call that F off time, you know, it's also a way to leverage your career and your business to pay for your vacation.
Well, yeah, exactly. And it's finding the places. That's one of the things I like about some of the conferences that are coming up. So I think the closest conference now has got to be the Irish Hypnosis Conference. Let me just pop up a link to that here as now. I mean, we mention this every week, but then we always forget to put a plug for it. So here's a link to it. This is the Irish Hypnosis Conference, which I believe is...
Are you going to pop over to that one?
I don't know if I get time. It's a couple of hours for me. It's so close. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But it's whether I get time or not. So that's April the 5th and 6th. So Dan Goyette is speaking at this one, so I think I might pop over to Dublin for that as well. So
who is?
For me, I'm not speaking. It would be, I would go as a break. I'd choose it as a holiday.
You said Dan Goyette's going to be speaking there?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, exactly. So he's taking the big trip, coming from that side to this side. So I think the idea of the Irish crack and the Guinness is what kind of convinced him to get over here. So that's good.
Of course. And yeah. I was just chatting with Jason O'Callaghan earlier today and over the last couple of days, and he was like, "Oh, you got to come out." And I'm like, "Oh, dude, I'm like right in the middle of, you know, car accident litigation, and then just some other medical stuff that I'm getting sorted out, and then I'm going to be flying down to Vegas to meet Michael DeShalit to cover Jim's show in Phoenix. So that'll be a good little road trip to get down there with him."
Nice. When did you travel down there?
Mid-April.
Nice.
is when the show is at. So I'll fly in like super, super early in the morning. We'll jump in the car, get into Phoenix before rush hour hits, kind of woo-saw at the hotel, check in, do the show, stay overnight. You know, the client is super gracious and getting us a room there. It's supposed to be a nice place, and I think by the time I get back, I'll have some time to regroup. Then you come out to St. Louis.
Yep. So yeah, Heartland is the 25th to the 27th of April. Heartland is always a great conference. And one of my favourites, quite intimate, but some really nice people go to this conference as well. So definitely worth it. If you're down that way, Brian, I would recommend it. See if we can make that work for you as well.
Yeah, it that would probably be a game time situation, or a decision, and that would probably have to correlate. Like all of a sudden, miracle, magical settlement offer is made, and everything gets done fast. But no, if I don't get out there this year, definitely next year.
What is the flight from where you are to St. Louis?
It's going to depend on the airline. I could, if you gave me a minute, I could look it up, but I think probably Delta would be the.
Yeah. I know everything's just a couple hours drive for you guys.
Hold on, let me Google Maps this real fast. Let's see, because you're gonna be like, oh, it's not that far. I'm like, Grant, the entire United Kingdom can fit within the state of Texas.
Yeah, I must admit, it always amazes me how actual big America is.
Yeah, and let's see if I did directions from my location. Well, and it's calculating. I'm 2,100 miles driving distance.
Oh, yeah.
So it says 31 hours of drive time. That's like if you went nonstop.
Wow. So I'm just Googling flights myself now.
Yeah, I would have to drive through. I'd have to drive across Washington, hit the top of Idaho before I drop into Montana, skirt the corner of Wyoming, fall into South Dakota, go across there, drop down on the Nebraska-Iowa border, down into the Kansas-Missouri state line, and then go all the way across Missouri to just about to the Illinois state line.
Well, for $200, you could get a flight.
If you buy, Grant, I'll fly.
we might even do that.
But,
so yeah, so that's Heartland. Obviously, there's then Pacific Northwest. This is I would love to make it to this one, but it's not.
That's kind of your busy time, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But this should be really nice. So Anthony Gitch, who's organising this now, he's picked up the reins from Jim, and it looks like a really nice. And again, this is up your neck of the woods.
Yeah, actually. So the Seattle, the SeaTac airport it's closer to Seattle, but it generally the strategy was for it to kind of split and be the center point between Seattle and Tacoma. So if anybody looked at a map, where I-5 and I-405 split off at the southern part in Washington, there's a Renton, Tukwila is right there at the airport. So I believe, don't quote me as gospel, but if memory serves me correct, I believe it's at the Marriott or one of the properties that offers a shuttle service right from the airport, which is, I think it's a complimentary. But I mean, you pull out of the airport and probably within 5 or 10 minutes, you're going to be at the hotel.
I think stuff like that makes a big difference for the whole experience of when you're going to conferences.
Like for context, it would be a little bit shorter than when we took the Uber from Gold Coast Hotel to the airport in Las Vegas.
Yeah,
it was very, very short.
And then obviously Hypno Thoughts, which is July 18th to the 20th, the biggest hypnosis conference in the world.
For those that want to turn into
Las Vegas.
For those that want to turn into human jerky in the middle of the desert in the middle of summer.
It does definitely get warm there in that there desert. And so it's great to see people already kind of promoting their presentations and talks for this one. And it looks like there's some phenomenal talks happening as well this year. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that as it unfolds out. I'll tell you what is quite interesting as well. Hypnosis Heroes is back, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it took some. I mean, obviously, with Jim's passing, we had to scramble and tie up some loose ends before performing Hypnosis Summit, and then simultaneously, I guess, set up a whole memorial service with a lot of people that were coming in from different areas, but also giving Jim's wife and family some time to kind of process what everything was going on and really talk to them. And once we received their blessing that they wanted us to continue, Shawn and I, and then we looped you. You are just as much of Hypnosis hero as Jim was, as far as I'm concerned. I don't have the expectation of you to be staying up in the middle of the night every single time to co-host, but
I'll pop in every now and then and show my face.
Yeah. But I mean, you do a great job of helping to promote, and again, it's really about, we're in some growing pains right now with trying to shift a lot of Jim's stuff over and consolidate. And Jim had a lot of stuff, a lot of different email addresses, so we're finding, and but yeah, we want to honor his memory, but also still carry on the mission that he had laid the groundwork for.
So who is your next guest? Do you know yet?
Let me. I do, but I don't recall off the top of my head. We've got, let's see, March. Tommy G. Orlando.
Nice.
He was the guy with the dreadlocks.
Yeah, really cool guy.
Yeah, we connected on Facebook, so I've seen a lot of his posts and a lot of stuff that he's doing. So I was doing a lot of running around with you, coordinating cameras and scheduling and doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff. So I didn't get to spend as much time as I would have hoped with everybody at PHS.
Yeah,
but Tommy's somebody that I'm looking forward to having on the show. He definitely seems like a good dude.
Yeah, he really is. And so yeah.
But yeah, everybody at PHS was wonderful.
Yeah,
like that was it was. We've kind of said it before, but was at that conference there really wasn't anybody doing buy my program, sell my stuff. Here is the elixir of whatever, in exchange for money. Everybody was just all about how can I help you guys succeed.
Exactly, which is exactly what it's about. And stay tuned. There should be an announcement this week or next week, probably next week now as we're in Thursday. As the recording should be available. And last but not least, the Michigan International Hypnosis Conference. I couldn't remember the logo, so I got a picture of Dan on there. Dan works incredibly hard for this one. And this is a great conference.
Well, Dan's going to be the one that pops over to Ireland.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you guys get a chance to watch was it Hypno Cafe, Hypno Magazine or Hypnosis Magazine?
Yeah. The Hypnosis Magazine is a great magazine. And again, it's something that
I'm trying to recall all of this off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's something we should all get behind and support. And Dan does a great job of supporting lots of hypnotherapists and stage hypnotists with that magazine as well. And so the more we get behind it, the more weight it has, and it makes us look good to the rest of the world as well. So I would definitely say to everyone to get behind that as well.
And I mean, also, I think it's worth mentioning to highlight the amount of effort and time that both he and his team put in.
Yeah.
From, while it's a little bit more cost effective for him because he has, press credentials and stuff like that. I mean, he's still hauling gear and camera stuff.
Exactly. And let's be honest,
schlepping it through airports and everything.
It's easy to do an email newsletter It's easy to do these things as an online digital product, you know, and incredibly cheaper. But to do it as an actual physical product, where you can flick through the pages, adds so much more weight and value. So hats off to Dan for going that extra mile.
And he jumps online, and you know, even at PHS, we kind of just ad hoc on the fly went, hey, you know what? Let's do an update today. And let's make sure we do an update tomorrow. And how are things going? And we just watch my sleep deprivation
Absolutely
deteriorate. But he's if you have an idea and go, hey, let's do it. He's like, yeah, man, let's make it happen.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that's the most important thing, from idea to action, make it work. Guys, well, that's it. That's us 22 minutes in. So fantastic. Thank you for joining us for Hypno News. If you'd like to be a guest, if you want a shout out, or you've got any shows coming up that you want us to promote, then please do get in touch, and we'll happily kind of push that out there as well. From myself and from Brian, take care. Have a great week.
All right. Have a good one, guys.